Welcome everyone to today's Title Topics webinar. This is ALTA's free 30-minute presentation that we've been offering each month to communicate some important industry information with our members. I'm Jeremy Yowie, ALTA's Director of Communications, and joining me today is Dr. Cynthia McGovern, the founder of Orange Leaf Consulting. Cynthia has a master's degree in marketing communications and a doctorate degree in organizational communication. Cynthia started her company after spending time as a marketing director for a commercial real estate company and as a college professor teaching several courses including public speaking, interpersonal communication, persuasion, pre-law evidence, and argumentation. Interesting. Today, Cynthia will be sharing some great information on how companies can increase productivity and profitability by transforming their staff into high-performing sales teams. And with the market showing maybe a little bit signs of life, this should be some timely information. Anytime you have a question, please use the chat box in the lower right-hand corner of the screen, and we will hold some time at the end of the webinar to address any questions. And as an added benefit, today's presentation is being recorded and will be available for download on ALTA's website, and the address is alta.org/title topics. And with that, Cynthia, I'll turn the presentation over to you.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. And thank you, everybody, for joining today. Welcome. I'm Cynthia McGovern, the founder of Orange Leaf Consulting, and we help title companies make more money. That's pretty much our focus, and we love what we do. Our passion is really helping you guys to create a sustainable sales system for you to continue growth long after we as a consultant are gone. One of the things that is really coming out in this market is ways to grow with the folks that you already know. You know, it's a little tougher out there, but we are starting to see signs of life, as Jeremy mentioned. But one of the things is there's a lot of business still to be had right under your nose. And so when ALTA contacted us to do this webinar, Jeremy and I were brainstorming, and I said, gosh, you know, this is a great quick growth strategy for the title companies that we work with. So we put together a small presentation for you guys today. So we've got a couple of slides. We're going to make this super easy for you, but take notes is the best thing I can say. This is a fantastic way to hold your next sales meeting, to hold your next escrow meeting, or an all-staff meeting where you can get everybody together and talk about things that every single person in your organization can do to help the bottom line. So what we're going to cover today is planning for success, both results and activities. And one of the things we see a lot with our clients is they plan for the results, the numbers, open orders, closed orders, revenue, even new clients, but they don't plan for the activities in order to get there. So we're going to talk a little bit about how you can actually plan for that. Secondly is be the change. This is our Orange Leaf Consulting model for growth, and the 4 R's is really the crux of today, which are the 4 quick growth strategies that you can implement even when we hang up the phone to help you grow your business. And then, of course, ready, set, go. So this is our Orange Leaf Consulting model for success. This is the sales process that we use and we teach. And it's really 3 basic steps, but there are a number of smaller steps included. The first one is you've got to have a plan for success, and we believe in something called a blueprint. I mean, let's face it, everything we deal with has a blueprint, right? So the blueprint is really where you set out your goals, your commitments, and even your intentions, where you plan for the right activities. And we also believe that you really need to write it down. By writing it down, you actually increase your likelihood of success by 97%. I know it's a shocking number. It was a recent Harvard study that was done. So what I would recommend is even if you write them down and never look at them again, write down your goals. The second phase of the Orange Leaf Consulting model for success is the bullseye and how we execute. And a lot of times, especially for salespeople, they've become loyal to sort of a routine. And while it served them in a busy market, it may not be serving them today. So my question is, are they scheduling time for the important things? Are they scheduling time for the activities that matter? And are they executing with bullseye precision? So for those sales managers that are on the call today, one of the things that I would ask you to do is when you're planning with your sales team, look at what activities they're planning for. Are they doing pop buys, which means they're driving around, popping into offices and seeing who's in the office? Well, we all know that a lot of agents are not even in the office anymore, so maybe that's not a great strategy. But what about making phone calls to schedule appointments with agents? That would be executing with bullseye precision. Slight shift on what they're already doing. And then finally, the last step of the Orange Leaf Consulting model for success is a barometer. We've got to measure what we're doing to know if it's even working. It's kind of like if you've ever started a workout program and, they have you weigh in at the end of the week, which is the most awful thing on the planet. And you weigh in, but you know where you stand. If we're not measuring the results and the growth and the return on time invested, how do we know whether it's working? So my recommendation for you guys is to think about these three pieces as we go through today and how they might apply to your organization. Now, the first thing to start with is that blueprint that I mentioned. This is the one that we use at Orange Leaf Consulting, and this is available for free on our website as a download, orangeleafconsulting.com. All you need to do is go to Tools, and it's under Freebies, and you can download this at any time, and this is a way for you to plan. So there's a couple of different sections, and I won't spend a lot of time on this, but you've got to plan for success. Number one, what I want. This is where you write out revenue, orders, new clients, what we call prospect connects, which is how many prospects are you going to see face-to-face this week or this month or this quarter, and planning for those kinds of success. Second section under that, what am I going to do to make it happen? This is where you do the strategy and tactics portion, where you're going to host 5 breakfasts, if that's something that you do in your market, or you're going to go on tour, broker tour, or you're going to have 17 face-to-face meetings with prospects. You're going to host an open house at your office. All those things of what you'll do to make it happen, and you'll notice there's 2 columns next to that, by when, and then you get to check it off when it's done. Without a due date and without a specific measurable piece of that goal, it's a hope, and hope is not a strategy. Last piece over here on the far right is who I want. My question for all of you sales managers and owners on the call, do you have a target list? Do you have your most wanted? Do you know exactly who you're going after? If you don't have a written target list, that's a great place to start for planning. And this is something that you can do individually with your reps or escrow officers, or you could even create a top 10 list as a team of these are the agents we absolutely want, or even these are the LOs we absolutely want. But if you don't know who you're going after, how can we intend to really make steps to go get them? Last 2 things at the bottom, what's going to get in the way and how you're going to deal with it. And this is sort of an Orange Leaf Consulting specialty. We believe that we plan for the successes, but we don't seem to plan for the hiccups and the speed bumps. So what I would recommend is write what's going to get in your way. Is it time? Is it prior commitments? Is it the fact that you have a great book of business and you feel like you're doing a lot of maintenance work? Think about that and then think about how you're going to deal with that as you plan for your success. Again, this is available on the Orange Leaf Consulting website, orangeleafconsulting.com, completely free. It will always be for free on the website, and you just need to go to Tools, and it's under Freebies. So now that you've got a plan, we have written down who we want and what we're going to go do to get them. We really have to look at the strategy, which is the how part of our plan. How are we going to get in front of these people? Who do we want? When do we want to get in front of them? And what are we going to do to get in front of them? So this is where the bullseye really comes into play, and the tactics are the what and the activity, and that's really what we're going to focus on in today's webinar, only because you guys know the things in your market that work. But here's a few things that might surprise you that we don't do at top of mind. I know you go to meetings. I know you pop by the offices. I know you guys get in front of your current clients, but there's a lot of business left on the table that we could go after that's literally right under your nose. Strategy without action is lip service. It's never going to produce results, and strategy really makes, people question a good strategy. Smart people really will question and say, should I be spending my time on this? One of the things we do in our seminars is we talk about what's your time worth. And typically salespeople say, oh, I want to make six figures. So I say, okay, great. Well, if you break that down and you take 2 weeks of vacation, that ends up being about $48 an hour that you should be making. If you had to pay $48 an hour to get in your car and drive around and not see a client, would you still do it? So thinking of your return on time invested, I would encourage you to think of some other things that you can do. Now, for all my escrow officers on the phone, this is for you. I get this all the time. They say, we're not salespeople. We, don't have time to get out in the field. A lot of today is what I call Operation Bunny Slippers. You don't even have to put on shoes to go do most of these activities that we're going to talk about today. So executing with bullseye precision is really how does it apply to who you're going after. Your return on time invested, if it costs you $48, would you be calling on new agents and new loan officers? Probably not, because we know the statistics, right? 1 in 4 agents you're going to meet today is a new agent. Take 10 of them, put them in a room, maybe one's left at the end of the year. They're probably not going to have a ton of business that they can direct to you. So they're probably on the outside of the bullseye. They're not really who we want to be spending the majority of our time on. Next section, foreclosure specialists in this market, right? We know these guys have some business. Are they tough to get in front of? Yeah, sometimes they are. So, but again, it's more pointed, more focused, strategic approach to who you're going after. Well, the second tier out is top producing agents. And guys, if you're not going after top producing agents, I really would encourage you to create a strategy in your organization to do that. We interview a lot of top producing agents as a company to understand what they want from their title company. And what's humorous to me is they say they rarely get called on. And the reason they rarely get called on is because I think we make up stories for them of why, they're using brand X or why they're using brand Y or, oh, they've got a relationship with so-and-so. Guys, top producing agents are realtors that we should be going after. So if we're not creating a strategy to go after them, that should also be part of your blueprint. But the middle part of your blueprint, the middle part of the bullseye, is really the 4 R's, which we're going to talk about today. The 4 R's are 4 tactics that you can implement right now, Operation Bunny Slippers, never leave your desk, and grow your business. So let's talk about those more importantly. They're universal across industries, first of all. This is not new for title. In fact, every industry that does sales uses these. But for some reason, I think in title, we haven't really thought about these as a true tactic because it's such a relationship business. And so we've got to kind of shift them to work for us. So that's what I'm going to talk about today. When you use the 4 R's, it's also a shorter sales cycle. How many of you have been calling on the same agent for 6 months and getting nothing? We've all been there, right? Using the 4 R's, you can shorten that sales cycle and get them in maybe 2 or 3 months. The 4 R's also minimizes cold calling. Now, I know there was a collective gasp across the nation when I just said cold calling. But the key is to not actually have to cold call if you don't have to. If you use the 4 R's, you create a warmer call for yourself, and that way it's never really a cold call. And then finally, using the 4 R's as a strategy increases your personal return on time invested. So let's go for it. The 4 R's. Ready? Get your pens. Here's where we're going. Retention, referral, renew, and revive. First one is retention. Retention is a great sales tactic for folks who have used you but are not really a customer yet. And what I mean by that is this is the occasional customer, the one that sends you a deal once in a while but you know is loyal to someone else. They've tried us, but let's say somebody wrote you in, so they had to use you. Well, that's a perfect opportunity to retain them. The non-directing agent or the agent on the other side is also a perfect opportunity to go after this person. Think about it. How many of you go after that non-directing agent in a proactive way? One of the things that you could easily do is when the order comes in, be the first one to call the non-directing agent and say, hi, this is Cindy with Brand X Title. I'm going to be your escrow officer for this. And the first thing they're going to say, by the way, is I didn't send you a deal. But that's okay, because we want them to experience the red carpet treatment at your company. So he or she who calls first wins, right? When you're using the retention strategy, you want to ask them to direct a deal. And this is a little difficult for some folks because it feels like we're putting them on the spot. But it's really just basic sales, and it's a way of saying something like this. Ken, Cindy here at Brand X. Listen, we've really enjoyed working with you on the Main Street property, and I'd love the opportunity to work with you directly. Do you have a deal that I can open for you today? And notice the silence at the end. Give them an opportunity to think about their book of business and think if they have a deal they can send you. So retention is a great tactic. Maybe what you'd like to do is get with your team today and call every non-directing agent and ask them to direct a deal to you. Great opportunity to grow business, and guess what, guys? It absolutely works. The second R is referral. Now, we all talk about this, and let me just get it out there, guys. Your agents say they work by referral, right? Everybody's agents say, oh, I only work by referral. Okay, working by referral means you will only take a client if they are referred to you by a past client. That's not really what the agents do. They get referrals, and they love to get referrals. Well, so do we, but we need to be proactive about it. So getting referrals versus asking referrals is totally different. What I would recommend is we start asking for what we would like. Who do we ask for referrals? The first group is your best clients. Who are the people that already love you? The folks that will sing your praises to the hilltops. Those are the folks you call first. You can ask your loan officers. Remember, the big dog loan officers run with the big dog agents. They want to work with a good team, and you guys know this. Escrow officers who are on the phone, you know what I'm talking about. You love the LOs that are not completely crazy and get you the docs on time, and then they need the agents who know what they're doing and they don't bug you guys and call you every 5 seconds to say, did you get it, did you get it, did you get it? So what I'm encouraging you to do is look at the folks that you already like doing business with and just ask them for referrals to other people they like doing business with. Now, here's the super ninja level. Ask people who don't use you for a referral. We've all got a couple of those folks that we've asked to work with us for years, and we know that their brother-in-law works at brand Y, and they're never going to come over. But you know what? We could ask them what other agents or what other loan officers in their office could benefit from working with us. When you get a no from someone, that's a great opportunity to ask for a referral. Now, like I said, that's the super ninja level, and not everybody's up to that yet. But I would encourage you to try it, because if you ask, you shall receive. But we need to make it a goal to ask for referrals. So my recommendation for you guys in your next sales meeting or your next staff meeting is make a goal for how many referrals you want to ask for. Now, notice I said ask for, not get. We can't control if they have someone to send us today as a referral, right? But we can control how many people we ask. So maybe what you'd like to do is set a team goal that every person on your team is going to ask for 2 referrals this week. Or if you're super brave, how about 1 a day? This is a fantastic growth strategy, and it also shortens the sales cycle, because once you've been referred in, you're kind of got that trust thing out of the way. So they're more likely to use you if you've been referred by someone they know and trust and love. The third growth strategy is renew. And guys, these are the ones who cheat on you. And let's just be honest, even though they tell you you get all of their business, that's probably 5% of that, the folks out there. We know they cheat on us because, frankly, it wouldn't be smart to have 100% of their eggs in the same basket. What if your escrow officer's out on maternity leave or out sick with a child or takes paternity leave? Guys, we know they have at least 10 to 15% of their business going somewhere else. So let's ask them to come over. We're not asking them to stop using Brand Y. We just want them to use us more. And you'd be surprised, a lot of folks give you a percentage of business because they think that's what you can handle. I hear this all the time with our clients, where I'll be working with a sales rep or working with an escrow officer, and we'll go to visit a client, and they'll say, gosh, I just thought you guys were so busy, I didn't want to overwhelm you with more business. Now, I know I heard a collective laugh across the nation right there, right? We always want more business. So we need to ask them and let them know we would love to have more business from them. Another renewal is sort of the one-hit wonders, the ones that come in and we know they're going to send us one every 3 months, but we know they're using another company. They're keeping their foot in the door with us. We're that 15%, if you will. Ask for more business and just take what they're willing to give you. That's the recommendation here. If you don't ask, you're not going to get. But the thing to think about here is the reason that they cheat. The reason they cheat is they are nervous. I mean, let's face it. For all the ex-realtors on the phone, the recovering realtors, it's a high-anxiety business, right? Escrow officers, you are in the business of anxiety management. That is what you do. You talk them down off the ledge, you pull the rabbit out of the hat, you jump through the ring of fire in the 11th hour, and the minute you walk into the closing room, you wipe the sweat off your brow, put a smile on your face, and make it look like it was the easiest thing you've ever done. We've all been there. What I would encourage you guys to do is these folks that are continuing to cheat on you, let them know occasionally how hard you're working for them. Let them know what goes into it. Let's face it, guys. When they're in real estate school, you know how long they spend on title? About 15 minutes. And I actually have a friend that just went through real estate school, and I asked, I said, how long did they spend on this? He said, well, they didn't really spend a lot of time. They just said find a good title company to partner with. So you guys are that. You're the title company they're gonna partner with. Guys, I want you to be able to renew the relationship with these guys. Don't just be complacent with what they're sending you. Ask for more. You might be surprised just by asking you'll receive. The last R. This is like another Jedi level, guys, and hang with me on this. Don't hang up. This is the one where they've left for whatever reason. Customers who ran away from home. Well, we need to understand why they left. And guys, I'm going to be real honest with you on this one too. Sometimes they left because of us. They will tell you things like, I felt like you got too busy for me. Or they will say things like, yeah, I just felt like the service went down. Or this company was able to do XYZ for me. We need to understand why they left in order to be able to bring them home. So what I would recommend is make a list of the people who've left. And this is a great whole team exercise. Escrow officers know who left, and 9 times out of 10, they know why they left. So for the sales folks that are listening today, get with the escrow officers. Partner with them to create a list of who's gone and talk about what we can do to bring them back. Now, the way to bring these guys back, you may have to put your shoes on and leave those bunny slippers in the office. You're probably going to need to get in front of them. You can do this over the phone, but you want to make them feel special. They ran away for some reason. Let's find out why. Set a time and let them vent. And this is the part where you literally just, tie your mouth up with twine and sit there, because we want them to get it all out. 9 times out of 10, all they want to do is be heard. They want you to know why they left. They want you to know how they felt unloved or whatever it happened to be. But at the end of their venting, ask them to come back. And it sounds like this. Let's say that you are an agent on the phone with me, or we're in front of one another, and you have vented. Now it's my turn to respond. And I'm going to say, Bob, I am so sorry that happened, and I can understand why you're upset. I would love the opportunity to earn your business again. Can we open a deal for you today so that you can see what we can do for you? And notice the silence at the end. Give him or her a chance to respond. This is, again, Super Jedi Ninja level. I think you can do it. I've seen it happen. Also, I'd like to share with you a quick statistic. I had a client a few years ago who, just using these 4 R's, was able to bring in 69 new clients in 90 days. And, oh, by the way, they had 1 salesperson. So it was all escrow-driven, guys. 69 brand-new clients in 90 days with 1 salesperson. And guess how many the salesperson brought in? 2. So that was all escrow. Guys, this is an untapped resource in your organization that you can be really pushing to grow your bottom line. Last pieces on the tactics. Get in front of them, get them live. If the phone is not working, get them engaged with you. Set an appointment and talk to them. You got to ask for the orders. And I know that we ask for orders in a very gentle way because it's a relationship business, but don't be afraid to say, Chuck, is there an order I can open for you today? I would love to open an order for you, Charles. You want to inspire repeat business through satisfaction, but how do we know we've truly satisfied unless we're asking? We want to follow up and find out how it went. That's a fantastic strategy with the agent on the other side as well. Once you're done with the deal, call them and just say, hey, we loved working with you. How did we do? I guarantee their current title company is not asking that. Leverage relationships is the tactic about asking for referrals. You have people who love you. Ask them. Ask them to introduce you to other folks. And then the super scary ones, the cold calls and the boiler room calling, which is, call blitzes and dial for dollars, all those fun things. You can do those, but why not have one around the 4 R's? Why not have your team create a list of people that they would like to call and ask for the non-directing agent, ask for referrals, call the cheaters, and ask for the orphan clients, and just do a blitz around that. Oh, my gosh, can you imagine the incredible results you could get from that? And then last step is industry functions. Don't forget, when you're in an industry function, that's a sales tactic. Guys, you can get in front of these folks there and ask for referrals. I was at a seminar on Friday, and I had one of my current clients introducing me around to potential clients. I asked him, I said, hey, who do you know in this room that I should be doing business with? And asked for referrals to those folks. And better yet, he walked me around and introduced me. Don't forget that industry functions are absolutely a sales tactic. So last thing I want to touch on today before we take some questions is, we go back one, is asking for orders. When is it appropriate to ask a client or a prospect for an order? I want you to think about that for 1 second. The answer is anytime. It's always appropriate. You don't have to earn the relationship. You don't have to earn the business. Guys, we earn it through our customer service, right? We're a service industry. So ask for what you want, take what they're willing to give. This is the number one activity that produces the desired result of growing business. So don't be afraid to ask for the business. And remember, ask for what you want, take what you can get. So today you've gotten 4 tactics that you can use this afternoon to go grow your business. We have gone through, again, the referral, renew, revive, and the retention. You guys can apply this right away. I would love for you to go to our website and download the blueprint. You can use it for yourselves. Make sure that you fill out each of the columns. Hope is not a strategy. It's got to have a due date. But, guys, I would love the opportunity to work with you directly to help you grow your business. If you have questions, you can email me at cmcgovern@orangeleafconsulting.com or call me. That is my direct line. Be happy to answer questions for you and help you to grow your business. I want to thank Alta for having me on today. And at this point, Jeremy, let's go ahead and open the chat line for questions.
Yeah, sure. So basically, it sounds like we just need to launch Operation Bunny Slippers, and that will help us get to the Super Ninja level, right?
Pretty much. Pretty much. It's
right.
Demystifying it,
Great. As Cynthia said, we open it up to questions. So if you have a question, please submit it via the chat box. And Cynthia, looks like we have one. You were talking about. You gave the stat about the one company who only had one salesperson, and so the question was, how do you get the people to sell? How do you get them motivated?
Well, it's a great question, and we get this a lot with our clients, especially when we're working with escrow teams, because the first thing they'll say is, gosh, I'm not really a salesperson. I do escrow. Escrow folks are actually the best salespeople you have because the clients that you have actually want to talk to them. They don't always want to talk to the salesperson. The escrow person hands them their check. They are very important to these folks. So it's a great opportunity to just get them thinking about it in a different way, that it's not really sales, it's client retention is what they're really doing. It's service. And being able to handle more of their deals, knowing that you do a great job as an escrow officer, is just better customer service. Now, with an entire team that hasn't done any kind of sales training before, or you've never asked them to do any sales activity, the best thing to do is have a meeting and get them into action right away. And what I mean by that is have a meeting and have them start making calls with you in the room so you can congratulate them and make it super, super fun. The client that I mentioned that brought in the 69 new clients in 90 days, we did a boiler room call blitz with them. And what we did was we had everybody practice what they were going to say. They partnered with a buddy. They figured out what they would say on the phone. And remember, most of these 4 R's are people you already know. So it's not a cold call. It's somebody that you're probably going to be talking to on a daily basis or a weekly basis. So it's also not an additional activity down the road. It's simply when you're on the phone with Bob at Coldwell Banker saying, Bob, is there another deal I can open for you today? Or saying, Bob, are there any other agents in your office? So my recommendation to wrap that out, Jeremy, is help them practice what they're going to say and then get them in action right away, and then celebrate the successes.
Okay. All right. Good advice. Had one more question we'll take here before we wrap up today, and the question is, I'm not sure, Cynthia, if you see it in the box there, but
I do.
All right. So the question is, client leaves because they're getting a dividend, or the broker offers them free advertising. How do you counteract this and get the business back?
Great question. So we're getting a lot of this, and this was more rampant back in 5 years ago. But client leaves because they're getting a dividend or their broker. Those agents are going to be the freebie freaks, and you guys know who I'm talking about. But the top producers could really care less. They don't care about the $25. They care about the fact that their reputation is on the line, and they'd rather have a company that they know is going to give stellar service and do a good job for them. So my recommendation when you're running into this where you're counteracting that, oh, well, so-and-so is paying for my marketing, go after the top and the second-tier producers in those offices and meet them outside the office because they could care less about the freebies. And the other thing is, too, remember in some markets that's illegal. Like out here in California, they shouldn't be doing things like that. The title companies can't be paying for things. So, there are ways to work around it, but the big thing is for Shauna, who asked that question, be confident in your ability and what your company offers and be able to call the agent and say, look, I get that they're paying for this. That's fine. And if you want to use them, that's okay. But we're focused on making sure that your deals are taken care of and putting money in your pocket. And, oh, by the way, when we're busy taking care of your deals, you don't have to worry about them and you can focus on growing your business. That's a whole different dialogue than what's currently going on with some of those other companies.
All right. One more, 30 seconds.
Yep.
Pens and marketing devices, are they effective?
Wow. In a nutshell, no. And I hate to say it, Christine, I saw that question. The reason is because if you're going after the folks that have the business, that stuff doesn't matter. What matters is, again, the service and the fact that they get their check on time and things of that nature. With pens and marketing, it is that. It is marketing, not sales. It is branding. It is the advertising piece, but it's not going to make them switch from a loyal company that they work with to you. If that's your foot in the door, that's fine. Drop those off and get brand recognition. But, Christine, what I would recommend to you is get face-to-face with those folks and ask them to come and give you a try.
All right. Thanks, Cynthia. As she mentioned, if you'd like to follow up with her, her contact information is there on the screen. You can also email me if you have any questions at jyoe@alta.org. And as a reminder, today's presentation is being recorded and will be available for download later this week on ALTA's website at alta.org/title topics. And that brings us to the conclusion of today's presentation. Cynthia, thanks again for joining us. And
absolutely, my pleasure.
I hope everyone's running out to get their bunny slippers now. So. All right. Thank you to everyone.
Thank you, everyone.